There is something about this TCN agreement that is off.
From the headlines shaping the nation to the issues impacting communities across Jamaica and the diaspora.
No, the poor team around here.
This is PDTV News with Andre Stevens, live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Public officials should know.
Holding the powerful to account.
What do you think about the 10,000? That is the most despicable, they say, coming to Jamaica.
Bringing you exclusive interviews, breaking developments, and the context behind the day's biggest events.
Him not help we. 3 school lockdown and him don't help.
In the constituency?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do, you don't do it already. Step aside. So you call for him resignation? Yes.
The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. Serious journalism delivered with warmth, honesty, and just a little fun.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know. Oh yeah! Tune in from the show. No, me not sorry.
Oh yeah!
No, me not sorry.
Because the news should inform, challenge, and connect us all. The conversations that matter, the people at the center of the story. PDTV News starts now.
We're meant to size a song, you know. You know the one there. He roll it away. He roll the sea away. He roll it away. He roll it. Come on now, hey. He roll it away. He roll the sea away. He roll it away. When it's ready. And Jesus' body make you rocky. Rock and give him praise. Hey, my God. At the cross, where I first saw the light. And the burden of my heart roll away. I am working for a robe and a star on my crown. I am working. I only live my life to please the Lord. Yes, somebody praise him now. Walk out and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. Give him praise in the home. Give Jesus praise in the home. Somebody praise high. Somebody praise him. Come now. Yes, in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah. When me back against the wall. Oh, Jesus. And me don't have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to pray. In the middle of the night. Yes, sir. In the middle of the night. Yes. Thank you, Lord. There is a race that I must run, and the victory to be won. Anybody can identify with me this evening, so give me power, Lord, every hour. Say it with me, keep me through. Come on, people, get out of your seat and rock this evening. Rock and give Jesus glory. Come, keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep me true. Yes, keep me true, Lord Jesus, keep. Yes, there is a race that I must run, and the victory to be. Somebody give God praise hour. Yes, every hour. Yes, keep it true. Sing it again this evening. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan road. Get something on with it. 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 Grab a rock 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 on with it. Come on, wave your hand. Wave your hand. Wave your hand if you love the Lord. Wave your hand. Wave your, yes, wave your hand if you love the Lord. And me say roll, Jordan roll, roll, praise him like you just don't care. Just praise the God, because you know what he has done for you. Just give him praise. Rock and praise him. Dance and praise him. Wave your hand and praise him. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. My God, David was one of the greatest musicians. And I hear this musician playing. Give God glory, musician. Tell them, play a little David. Play a little David. Play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Yes, play me David. Play a little David. Me say roll, Jordan. Me say roll, Jordan, roll. My God, Church of God this evening. God is good. Yes, God is good. God, for I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan. Come now, me have to do that when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to dinner when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to dinner when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to dinner when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me a go walk right in there. 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 A river Jordan a roll. 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 Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll river Jordan. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Roll bank to bank. Let the deaf man hear. And the dumb man talk. And the blind eye see. And the crippled man walk. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. Roll back to bank. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan a roll. A river Jordan. I feel like praising. I feel it when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to get when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to get when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Me have to get when you roll. Me want rock and praise it, boy. Me have to get when you roll. Me want hear when you roll. Boy, river Jordan a roll. People make you roll, make you roll. Boy, a blessing make you roll. Yes, a blessing make you roll. Boy, are your blessing make you roll. Yes, are your blessing make you roll. For I want to go to heaven when I die. We go here when Jordan rolls.
Eat life, be life, be life.
Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! PNP coming again! So tell your neighbor, tell your friend! Green man a ride like mule and I take the nation for fall. But we have a new name for him. What's his name? Him name Eli. Bangarang. Oh, we tired that the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired that the labor pay. Poverty a bus we shut and we going insane. Why? Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. Name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli, 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 Eli. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Thursday, on a Friday, on a Saturday, 2 times on a Sunday. Eli, Hear it. Eli tell we say him a go build up the country, put money in our pocket and end poverty. Promise the farmer them a go drive SUV. No will touch the bus, him a blame PNP, but Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him they go sit down back in the harbor. Him too lion out of order. Oh, we tired that the labor pay. The drive across the bus and the country going down the drain. Yes, we tired that the labor pay. Poverty a bus we shut and we going insane. Why? Eli. At the new name for the bus driver. Eli. That's how you hear from every corner. Eli. His name a ring throughout Jamaica. Eli make the promise to teach a nurse and police. Promise to give them big salary increase. Promise jobs, more jobs and good economy. But no him crash the bus, him a blame PNP. But Eli is a rookie driver. Him cannot run Jamaica. Him they go sit down back in the harbor. Him too lion out of order. Wanna remember this? Eli from a party new on the scene. Swear say him.
Alright. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. With the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat. Them set a rat trap. They said to set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat. Them set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in a FLA. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat. Them set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap with the 2 foot rat. Them set a rat trap in the school. The one them where thief the picking them money. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the judiciary. The one them where take money out of the table. Set a rat trap for the lawyer them. Set a rat trap. Take the people money and take them land title. And them not get no title. Hello? Set a rat trap. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Hello? Hello? Me say we set a rat trap in the church. For the one them where thief the offering. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. We must catch them.
Some people don't want to hear you pray 5 o'clock. But the best time to pray, you know when? In the middle of the night. Oh, when the back against the wall. Me no have no friend at all. Jesus taught me how to. Why you don't wake up in the middle? Oh, in the middle of the night. I went me back against the wall. Girl, me no had no friend at all. My Jesus taught me how to pray. Pray, Christian. In the middle. Hey, wave your hand and you do what I your belt. Push up your hand and you do what I your belt. Push your hand and you do what I your belt.
It's 8 p.m. Big stories, big questions, real conversations.
There is something about this TCN agreement that is off.
From the headlines shaping the nation to the issues impacting communities across Jamaica and the diaspora.
No, the poor team around here.
This is PDTV News with Andre Stevens, live from Kingston, Jamaica.
Public officials should know.
Holding the powerful to account.
What do you think about the 10,000? That is the most despicable, they say, coming to Jamaica.
Bringing you exclusive interviews, breaking developments, and the context behind the day's biggest events.
Him not help we. 3 school lockdown and him don't help.
In the constituency?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do, you don't do it already. Step aside. So you call for resignation? Yes.
The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. Serious journalism delivered with warmth, honesty, and just a little fun.
I'm not sorry. Listen to PDTV show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know. Oh yeah! Tune in from this show. No, me not sorry.
Oh yeah!
No, me not sorry.
Because the news should inform, challenge, and connect us all. The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. PDTV News starts now.
Right, Wednesday the 12th of August. How are you guys doing? It feels like we've not been here a little while, but it is good to see everyone. And as you can see, we're here. We're here for an important reason tonight, right? We're here with a special coverage on the fallout from the demolition at Cooper's Pen. And the fallout, I'm sure you guys will all agree, has been pretty monumental in the sense that it's angered and left a lot of people furious, emotional. I know there are people who are crying. Some people are even crying, right? Because of just how inhumane the actions of what happened appeared to have come across. And I'm sure there are, elements of, yes, there is a lack of humanity, a lack of compassion shown to the residents. And let's not forget, this is all happening amid the hurricane season. See, now you've got people living in tents amid the hurricane season. Like, think of that logically. People in tents, homes knocked down during a hurricane season. So that's another added layer to this conversation that we're going to try and discuss tonight as we basically try to make sense of all of this, because I'm sure, like a lot of you guys will agree, all of it is very, very distressing. And it's distressing to the point where we want to understand the rationale. So we're going to go on a little journey tonight, right? And what we're going to do is that we're going to investigate. And we're not doing any party loyalties or, sucking up to any one side. I'm here tonight to unpack and to make sense and to try and get you guys to understand, because at the heart of all of this, right? At the heart of all of this are people who are homeless tonight, who are having to sleep in tents, who until 24 hours ago had their homes snatched away from them. We're going to get to a recap and showing you guys what happened yesterday. But I just want to share a really interesting fact with everyone tonight. An estimated 1 in every 5 Jamaican live on land to which they do not formally hold a title for or even own. Think about what that means. In a country with roughly 2.8 million people, we're potentially talking about hundreds of thousands living on property where their legal ownership may be uncertain, undocumented, or incomplete. And that does not automatically mean that they are squatters. Some families have lived on the same land for generations. Some have inherited property that was never properly transferred or registered. Some may have inherited property to the point, right, where the proper legal framework, the documents aren't there. Others may have paid for land but never completed the formal titling process. Look at this woman, for example, sitting on that mattress right there. And look at the pain etched on her face. This is what we are doing tonight. Okay? So if you guys are here with us, I appreciate you guys being on this journey with us. And if you are here, can you do one thing for us? We need you to hit the likes. It's going to help the algorithm and it's going to help us reach more people tonight and hopefully spread the story so people can understand and see and just get a sense of what is happening, because I have a little feeling, having done some research today, I have a little feeling that this is going to be, unfortunately, the norm. We're going to see more of this happening in the coming months or potentially years, because this is an issue that successive governments have been ignoring. And unfortunately, this woman and so many of her neighbors in Cooper's Pen have paid basically and ultimately paid the price. And I refuse to call them squatters tonight. I'm going to explain why later on. But as we speak right now, the fight for what happened 24 hours ago has gone beyond the rubble, has gone beyond all the concrete, the furniture that's scattered all over the land. It's now a fight over responsibility, ownership, and the truth. The government has made it clear. They did not send in the bulldozers. They had no knowledge that the bulldozers were coming. Local officials say this was a private land dispute. Residents insist there are critical parts of this story that have not been told, including an agreement they say was reached years ago to purchase the land. And then, here's the big one, then there's the paper trail. Court documents, land records, agreements, notices, orders, documents that could help establish who had the legal right to this land, what authority existed to remove the residents, and ultimately who set Tuesday's operation in motion. But before we examine those records and separate what can be proven from what is being spun to us by government officials or by politicians, we need to understand how we got here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show everyone. I think we've all had some sleep. We've all checked social media. We've all seen the clips. But I just want to show you guys now, right? The reality of what happened yesterday, the story of yesterday, and the people who this morning are having to pick up the pieces of what remains. Take a look at this. In the dead of the night, the bulldozers rolled in. By morning, their homes were all gone. Residents told TVJ what happened as the community they called home was torn apart before their eyes.
All the things them, including all the baby crib and something I draw with. This a different yard, you know. That time they already break on me. So that is what really, really, really grieved me, is the fact that my things them break up after they mash up the house.
My house not get put down here, but them put one peg and any part of the peg they reach and other put feet. And the peg they near to my house. Right in front of my house. One peg there.
As a citizen, I'm a national, I'm a native. Me no run away for nowhere come here. A Jamaica me born and grow. Me are no squatters. Me can't be squatters in a Jamaica. No boy can't tell me say me are squatters in my country. Me born and grow here.
Pieces of rubble and furniture scattered all over is what remains of this once vibrant community. But how did it come to this? Who sent the bulldozers? Here's what we know so far. At around 3 o'clock Tuesday morning, work crews moved into Cooper's Pen, catching residents off guard. There was also a strong police presence, and a number of residents, mostly men, were arrested during the operation. This well-known lawyer spoke to some of those who were detained.
They were arrested this morning, and based on what they are saying, they were arrested for no reason at all, no lawful reason. Now look at Rasta. What has happened this morning? The police come and lock you up what time? 3 o'clock this morning. And when they come and lock you up at 3 o'clock, what did they do?
Bring it down at the station.
The station. Call
them up and tell me what they charge or anything. After we start making nice done at the station, them say them a process. 20 other with them come pick up this morning. 20 other who hit in all of them house. All of the man them who hit in the house.
This is what the people of Cooper's Pen woke up to this morning.
By daylight, around 25 homes had reportedly been demolished, leaving scores of people displaced. But one major question quickly emerged. Who ordered the demolition? Mayor Colin Gager has rejected claims that the government carried out the eviction, saying the operation was undertaken by a private developer who owns the land and had a long-standing court dispute with residents. But if a private developer sent the bulldozers, who exactly authorized the operation? What court order or legal process permitted it? And who also instructed the JCF to provide enforcement? Those are the really important questions that we want to try and get to the bottom of tonight. And that brings us to where we are right now. Plenty of accusations, people now distancing themselves, pointing the fingers, calling people troublemakers who are asking those really pertinent questions, and plenty of competing version of events. But somewhere beneath all of that should be a paper trail. Joining me now, I want to bring in Fifth Element to is someone you guys might all be aware of over on TikTok. She's been speaking about this quite a great deal and has been doing some work in terms of, following and looking into those court documents, the court records surrounding this dispute. Fifth Element, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me on your platform. I really appreciate it. Thank you for showing and speaking out on behalf of our people down here in Jamaica and Cooper's Bend.
So listen, you've been digging into the documents, right? You've probably done a little bit more than me, hence why you're here to guide us tonight. So what Fifth Element is about to do, I think, will potentially give us some really crucial information, which is what we all want tonight in terms of how we got here. Tell me then, is there anything in the records you've examined that gets us closer to the question as to who ordered this or why it happened?
Okay, so to understand this, because everybody been running with the narrative that the residents of Cooper's Bend just squatted, they've been given ample time to leave and they didn't, so their house got demolished. And people have been running with that narrative, and that is so wrong. That is, to understand this complicated Charlotte's Web, you must understand what took place. And so what I did, I've done what a documentary tried. What I did was follow the documentary trail. I trailed the documents. And when I started following the trail, I realized that what happened at Cooper's Bend in August 2026, just the 11th of August 2026, cannot properly be understood by just starting out with a bulldozer. The story actually, Jamaica started 60 years ago. 60. And there's something else Jamaica needs to understand. There are really three stories here. There's a story of Gilbert Jobson and New Falmouth Resorts. There's a story of Cooper's Bend residents and Falmouth Resorts and them trying to attempt to obtain the land, because Cooper's residents did try to obtain the land. And there's a story of the government of Jamaica becoming involved in trying to acquire the land for those residents. And those three stories eventually is what collided. So in 1967, Gilbert Johnson, September 15, 1967 to be exact, he's the registered owner, Gilbert Jobson, of Orange Grove, Trelawney, because that's what's on the registrar. He did what's called an option agreement. He signed an option with a man named J. Cecile Abrahams. And the land is described as approximately 300 to 350 acres. And in this agreement, it said that Abraham was going to pay him £90 per acre. That's the option money, and £100 duration, 60 days. But here is the language that started raising questions from me. J. Cecile Abrahams is described as acting as an agent for a proposed purchaser. So the document does not identify New Falmouth Resource Limited by name, and that's important. But I also want to be legally responsible. The fact that it does not mention it does not say them not on the rights. I'm not going to say that. However, the law also said that a proposed purchaser had to be incorporated at the time of the agreement. New Falmouth Limited was not incorporated at the time of the agreement. So let's understand that. So what the courts did in Jamaica, they took what New Falmouth said and said that they were the proposed purchaser who instructed Cecile Adams. But there's no document that connected Abraham to New Falmouth. There's one, that's the one record I still want. There's no record connecting them, Then you fast forward to October to November 1967. And this is where another critical date comes in. October 23rd, 1967. According to the court record we've been examining, New Falmouth Resource Limited was incorporated after the September option agreement between Jobson and Abraham. So November 9, 1967, there is a letter relied upon as the exercise of the option. And that letter refers to a check for approximately £26,900. That is where the payment questions enters the story, because this is where New Falmouth claimed that they forwarded a check to Gilbert Jobson because they were the proposed buyer. That's what they're claiming, although their names were never mentioned. Right. And I want you guys to listen to me carefully, okay? They said that they forwarded a check. So I wanted the primary records because 2 years later in 1969, we encounter a Clinton Hart and Company statement of account bill of cost that was relied upon as evidence concerning the £26,000 900. 2 years later, I'm going to watch the timeline and watch that they forwarded the check, but there's no trace of the check. Okay, they cannot trace the money independently. Checks are traceable. They could not trace it with the bank, the payee, the deposit, the solicitor's client ledger, the receipt, Gilbert's acknowledgement. There is none. There is zero trace on the side of Gilbert. Only that they forwarded a check on their side. Okay.
So does that mean we've lost the trail?
Even the administrator general themselves went after independently trying to find payment that was made to Gilbert and could not find it. There was no evidence.
So does that, again, I know there was a lot that we unpacked there, and I hope you guys, if we can put this screen, this graph that we've got on full frame. Fifth Element read us through the dates, which is on the second sort of little graphic there, and I think we're sort of fast forwarding along, right? And you guys, if you just look at, just go from 2, 3, 4, 5 and work your way down. I know there's a lot to unpack here, but it's important if we want to know how we got here and where we are going. We've got to go back in history and look at where this all began. So Fifth Element, let me ask you then, I keep hearing about this 2019 agreement. Does that exist? Is that something that is a fact? Apparently, residents insist that an agreement was reached in 2019 for them to own roughly 9 acres of land. Have you seen documentation supporting that?
It was an organization. Let me go there. So it was an organization at the time, and they were organized. It was called the Cooper's Pen Providence Society. It's a body known as the Cooper's Pen Providence Society. It was formed. And according to the court record I've been researching, it proposed including formally acquiring the land. Okay? All right. They were trying to buy the land, the 9 acres, and all the residents. It's not like they just wanted to sit there and not. Since the people them said, okay, we own the land, and if you want to understand, even if I go back, it's a lot to unpack. They said, okay, let's buy the 9 acres from you. So they tried to buy the 9 acres from them, but according to the court documents, it just never happened, and there was no reason why.
Okay. So that was 0.7 on this graph here. So we're hoping that you guys are following closely, right? There's a lot to unpack. Let me fast forward now and talk about the police assistance. And I know we're going to get into this in the next segment a little bit more. You're in Jamaica. We see, sort of bailiffs operating on a day-to-day basis. In a case like this, I'm assuming, and from what I do understand, bailiffs were present. Do we know if any documents were presented to these individuals before their homes were knocked down? Do we know anything as to the process, as to how this was executed and on what grounds?
Okay, so when I look at what happened at Cooper's Pen this week, I don't see a story that started this week. I see a story that started from 1967. Gilbert Jobson signed an option. Newfoundland enters the story. Later accounting evidence concerning payment. Survey, caveat, Gilbert dies. The decades of estate administration. Meanwhile, residents were still living there, because it's not just yesterday they were living there. A Providence Society tried to purchase it. In 2005, the court authorizes completion of an old transaction that's still in question. 2006, that they transfer the titles to Newfoundland. It is called a possession proceedings against approximately 99 occupants in 2007. And 2010, they got what's called a possession order. So 2012, the minister created an injunction to stop everything. Now here comes August 2026, homes come down. So I'm standing here, not ignoring the course. I'm saying, give us the whole record, because what exact authority is being executed in 2026? That's what we need to understand. Which people does it bind? Which land does it cover? Which structures does it cover? what was served, what survey was used, what role did police have. That's why I needed to get the complete history, because it's been a long history.
So
and how
what
does
about
the land being demolished today, approximately 9 acres that the government previously attempted to acquire? So if I were assembling this for any lawyers, right, this is what I would do. I would do an emergency court application for the current execution documents, because they still don't have them. Some people were never served. Some people said them don't know nothing about it. They never get noticed. They would have to come up with certified title survey, resident by resident files, because then you have to prove that each individual was served, was notified. And that's where we're missing. You hear a lot of residents say they never know nothing about it. Even the MP says she never know about it. So if even the MP in the area claims she don't know nothing about it, the residents themselves say they were never served. So they would have to prove that each resident by resident file, they would have to have each resident file, service records, police record.
Does what you've uncovered, Fifth Element, vindicate the government in that they had no role in this, they had no involvement, they had no clue this was going to happen at all?
This is coming from 1967. So this is not a today thing or a yesterday thing. So the government in 2012 did an injunction. So the government's been aware of the situation that's been taking place at Cooper's Bend.
So here's the thing. I'm going to get into that a little bit more, because it was the PNP administration who started court proceedings. So we're going to pick into that a little bit more. So successive governments have been aware of this. Like you said, it's not a case where the bulldozers turned up out of nowhere. This has been going on for a little while. What documents do you think are still missing for us to get to the conclusion that someone or some department or some organization ordered this, and these are their plans that they have in terms of using the land for X, Y, and Z?
Okay, I am glad you asked, because there's a list of stuff that I would want. Okay, and I'm going to tell it to you, because I made a list, because it's a list of stuff to find out exactly who ordered this. There is because I have to go back to some of my notes. So just give me one.
No, you're good, because
my
this is one of those stories where you can't just
so deep.
This is one of those stories where you can't just turn up and speak from the top of your head. You've genuinely got to do your homework and be briefed and be prepared. So it's good that you're taking notes.
One thing I don't want anybody to say that I am here with conspiracy.
And that's the whole point that we're doing the special show tonight, in terms of just focusing on this and giving people the facts.
Doing any conspiracy theory. I am here giving the dates, the time, the docket number. And so it's just so much to go through. So if
I'm hoping at some point you can pass these documents on to, presumably these residents may get lawyers at some point, and they're going to want whatever you have, to try and get to the bottom of this.
Okay, so that's to help them, because I even did a thing how to get each of them need to get their own lawyers too. Okay, so the police record, I'm not accusing the police, okay, but I would want evidence. So who requested the police presence? They need to find out that. What order did the police receive? They need to find out that. What documentation did they examine? And we know that residents were detained, right? We know. And if they, because the residents were detained, they have to tell us under what authority, were charges filed, and how long were they held. And we need the occurrence books, okay? Because somebody ordered it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I don't think we're going to be naive and not say somebody wasn't aware of it.
They need to get the title. They need to get the enforcement process. They need to get the survey. They need to get the resident list. They need to get the service records. They need to get the housing ministry file. They need to get the police records and document the demolished homes and value the losses. That's something they're going to have to get. There's so many documents that are like missing, not there. People come and demolish your place and they don't have nothing. They detain people, don't charge them. That's in itself is another legal thing to go after, because you just can't do that to people. They can't fight. They can't fight with their bodies. They're going to have to fight with the surveys, the affidavits, with the court records and the receipts. This is evident, and they need some competent lawyers.
I'm so grateful, Fifth Element, that you were able to come on and just sort of unpack all of this. I know it was a lot to digest, but I think, like I've been saying, it sounded like a broken record all night. I think it's important, right? And it's important because we have to remember that beyond the politics and beyond all of this, there are families tonight dealing with the consequences. We're couple of months away out from Christmas. People are going to be homeless, starting life all over again. They're going to have to find somewhere. You're in the middle of the hurricane season as well, right? They're going to have to they're probably going to have to move out the tents and find permanent housing. And in the meantime, they're going to have to sleep.
They can actually, if every resident of Cooper's Pen document everything. I mean, document their losses. I'm not talking about as a group. Each individual household documents everything. Who got arrested, what time they got arrested, were they charged, what time they came, what got demolished, what did they lose. Everything needs to be documented. Were they served, were they notified, if they got service, every copy, did they get court orders, everything needs to be documented. Then each person needs to file a lawsuit individually. Every household needs to file an individual lawsuit. See, I would take this backwards, because I would they should all get a lawyer so they can stop. They can stop the process, and each person will file an individual lawsuit. So you have a plethora of lawsuits, then back up. So now I will go backwards. It's like backwards planning. Instead of going from 1967 to now, I will go from now to 1967. So the 1967 case would be like the last thing to reopen for the ownership.
Wow.
So that's what they need to do, because they can get justice.
And I think that's at the heart of all of this right now, right? And their broken furniture and all the bits and all the pieces that they have to pick up now. But Fifth Element, really appreciate you taking the time. I feel like you're going to be back to kind of guide us through, because the more time we're all invested in ensuring that this story gets the attention, the mainstream media, they aren't going to touch it and do what we're doing tonight. They're not going to give it the time and the resources to look into these things. So if you guys support all of this, it's good to support independent journalism and support people who are genuinely taking the time to bring you useful information so that you can all be clued up and you don't have to rely on stupid politicians or people spinning stories to tell you what to believe. We genuinely here tonight are having this conversation and trying to make sense of everything that is happening. Fifth Element, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate you. And if you guys want to check out Fifth Element, she is on TikTok and social media as well. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move on to the next part of tonight, right? So if you're just joining us, we're doing a special coverage. The entire show tonight is going to be focused on the fallout from the Cooper's Pen demolition. That's it. Because there's so many people as we speak right now who are laying in tents in dark, still picking up whatever remains of their home or what once was their home. And you know what, as we move on, this story, I want to let you know, has another element to it. The battle over the bulldozers has become a battle now over the narrative. Who owns the story, right? Mayor Colin Gager has gone on the offensive. He released a statement earlier today condemning and calling out multiple bloggers, accusing them of spreading misinformation and attempting to falsely blame who he says were falsely blaming the government for Tuesday's demolition. He insists the government did not carry out the operation. He says the eviction was overseen by a private developer following a long-standing dispute over the land. But those accusations are now being challenged because some of the people being accused of misleading the public say they were raising legitimate questions about the police presence, like we were hearing a moment ago, the treatment of the residents, and what role, if any, public authorities played before, during, and after the demolition. So tonight I'm giving one of those voices the opportunity to respond to the mayor and to the Jamaica Labour Party, who obviously pushed that statement out. Welcome, Marvin Edgar. Hope you're well.
Yeah. Manners and respect.
Marvin,
thank you.
I know you've got a lot to say, and I'm gonna get straight into it. You heard the mayor there. He did call you out along with Andre Stevens, Derval, who is a prominent supporter of the People's National Party. So is Andre Stevens, and I believe another blogger called Dre Bryan as well. He did say that you are a PNP. I from what I having done a recent documentary, I don't believe you align with the People's National Party. But I'll give you an opportunity to sort of just respond. I mean, what is your response to to the mayor saying that you're spreading misinformation and that you need to shut your mouth?
Well, number one, I voted for the People's National Party in 2025. And that was something that I made public. I'm an independent person, and I will say it again, as I've said it on my platform and multiple platforms. My reason for voting for the People's National Party in 2025 was because I just did not want Andrew Michael Holness to take up office again. And I had my reasons for things that were committed by the Jamaica Labour Party government. Now, with that said, it doesn't negate the fact that I am 100% independent. I am not paid. I do not, I've said it before, I've never met Mark Golding. I would never take a dime, not a dime from nobody to actually represent my people. I am not a PNP blogger. I am an independent thinker. I am a Jamaican, and it will always be like that. Now, the fact that this mayor has now framed me and called me a PNP blogger, and I am very much offended given the work that I have done. I want him to understand, and also to call me a liar, that the government of Jamaica had nothing to do with this demolition. I must let him know. I have already contacted my attorneys about 3:30 this afternoon. I spoke with my attorneys, and that was shortly after I learned of the press release from the mayor. I don't think this mayor or the government of Jamaica understands the magnitude of the crime committed from the police personnel who were involved. So much of our resources, our police resources, was used up for this demolition. A lot of crimes were committed that I personally, I heard from the persons who were arrested by the police, brought in illegally, and were released just so that the persons coming to do the demolition got their way. Now, that for me is kidnapping, and I am going to work assiduously in ensuring that proper representation, legal representation, will be had by these gentlemen that is now on the screen. As you can see there, that's Attorney at Law Collins, and I'm also going to be in contact with him. I do have his personal contact, and I'm going to talk to him to find out what's up, and to also find out how much money he needs to actually pursue that. And I'm going to get a few other attorneys on the matter, because this is going to go down as one of the biggest lawsuit that the Jamaican government would have ever received. And every single one of those young men that were arrested falsely, wrongfully, their human rights, their dignity, everything will be preserved as long as breath is in this body. The Jamaica Labour Party government, the People's National Party government, no government, no government can stop Marvin, Adrian, Edgar when it comes to representing the people of Jamaica. None of them can stop it. And what they've done to the people, not just of Cooper Spend, but Albion and all the other communities, we have not forgotten about those communities and what has happened just recently of their homes being demolished as well. I also understand from sources in Trelawney that there are other places there to be demolished, where I understand from one of my sources that the Falmouth All-Age School, and from the pier all the way down to Salt Marsh, I understand that everyone who is on that strip will be removed. One of them, where the school is, the Falmouth All-Age, to facilitate a wharf This is the information that I am getting, not confirmed, but this is what I am now hearing from credible source who is connected to persons who are very much aware as to where else is going to be demolished.
So two really important facts to circle back on. So you, as of right now, as of today, 12th of August, you intend to launch legal action against the mayor.
I've already started.
You've already started legal action, and you also intend.
The process has already started. Yes.
And you also intend to help, with the whatever legal action these gentlemen who were, I think these are just 5 of the 20 who were detained unlawfully, as you say, by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You're also going to be helping them out to bring cases as well against the police force.
As a matter of fact, another action was taken by myself and my team, where a petition will be launched before the week is out to ensure that we have the entire country supporting, or a particular percentage of the country supporting, all the police who were involved in that process to be arrested. They must be arrested for their illegal actions. And I'm very serious. Very serious.
So is that
a crime?
Is that realistic?
It was a crime. It's a gross human right violation. And these young men and every other young men and women in Jamaica, rights cannot constantly, be disrespected like that and go down without not getting proper legal representation. Most people in Jamaica can't pay the lawyers, and this is why the government gets away with these kind of atrocities. I'm Marvin Edgar, the young man who most of these people are looking forward to as their prospective leader, prospective prime minister, prospective president, or whatever capacity, Father God, I'm going to see me in to represent them. I'm going to ensure that they get justice. Whether I am in office or I am not in office, I am not going to stop every police officer that was a part of that illegal process of removing these young men in the wee hours of the morning, taking them to a police station, processed them illegally, and brought them back with no charge, zero charge. That, my friend, is a crime. And they will pay. And if they're not fired, the commissioner of police, the security men, all of them is now in the line of fire. They must be either arrested or charged. But something has to happen.
What's your working theory as to why you believe that these men were unlawfully detained and taken to the local police station and taken away from their homes?
What? Sorry?
What's your understanding? Why would the police have taken these men out of their homes? What do you think that was about?
It's simple. I mean, it's simple. Not everything is going to be written and put on a piece of paper before us. Some things we have to deduce from just mere observation. Yeah, you are having a demolition for a bunch of people who are on a land called squatters. So these people are, the threat to that would be the men. So it would be the best thing for us to remove the men, wait until the process is complete, and then bring them back. That's what happened. I mean, there was no reason. I mean, the government, obviously from the letter from Mayor Gager, is saying that the government of Jamaica had nothing to do with the demolition. So I want to know two things. Who the police works for? Does the police work for the hotel people or the person who is claiming ownership to the land? And if they're telling me that the government knew nothing of it, then I want to know how much power does that private citizen has to get the Jamaican police force in its magnitude. It's the first in the history of Jamaica. People are saying they've ever seen so many police officers. The resources were used for that. Last week in Portmore, I covered a story where an elderly lady was robbed robbed of her of over $2 million worth of jewelry, her wedding band, which cost 12,000 US, her chain that was is very sentimental to her. And she called the police from 12:30 p.m. And at the time of my reporting, which was about 7 p.m. in the night, no police officer came. So for us to have the kind of battalion that showed up yesterday at Cooper's Pen, and the government is now washing its hand out of it to say they know nothing about it and it's not them. Let me tell the government of Jamaica this. You have Marvin Adrian that got to deal with, not some corrupt judge or lawyer or some corrupt group that is going to shove this under the carpet. It will not go down nicely for the government of Jamaica. We are also demanding that the Prime Minister of Jamaica step down, resign. If you know Andrew Holness, me Marvin, I tell you, if you know what is good for you, resign. Remember me, you think Donald Trump can back you? You think Donald Trump can back you for what is coming? You better resign. Remember, all of them better resign. All right? Thank you.
So Marvin, so the mayor is basically standing on business. He has said, and he's standing by his claims that you, along with Andre Stevens and a few others, have been misinterpreting, have been spreading information that is inaccurate. Do you know exactly what you said that is false or that he has taken a specific issue with?
Yeah, the same thing. That I have said that the government of Jamaica was responsible for the demolition. Now, I personally remember what I said, and it is on tape. I said the hotel merged with the government. It's a merger. It's a merger. I didn't say that the government holistically carried out a demolition. I didn't say that. I said that the hotel merged with the government, and it is true, because the fact that the resources of the country were used, and I'm talking about the police, yeah, in its entirety, were present. But for me, the mayor should be very concerned, not about what we said, but no, the fact that they're washing their hands out of it, and the fact that the police committed a serious crime. You kidnapped over 20 men, the police force, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, kidnapped. That is kidnapping. There was no warrant, and there couldn't have been a warrant for what was done. There was no warrant. It's not like we had a state of emergency where a warrant doesn't need to be present. They can just pop up at your house and do as they please with you, as the state of emergency rules would allow. It's not a state of emergency, no warrant, and you went there wee hours in the morning in masks, in ski masks.
They were wearing face masks, Marvin?
Yes, it was confirmed. It was confirmed by the persons who were arrested. There were persons I heard who were diving through their windows because they thought they were being invaded by gunmen. They thought they were being invaded by gunmen. Newsflash, they were gunmen because they could not have been acting in the capacity of lawmen. They were gunmen. Because it's just like a police officer or a licensed firearm holder who used their licensed firearm to do an illegal act. It is no longer a legal weapon. So them coming with the resources that we taxpayer money give them to serve and protect the people in mass, and they cut off the power. So JPS, it's a syndicate. It's a syndicate of criminals. I understand that the power was cut off.
Stick a pin. So you're saying these men, so 3 a.m. in the morning, bulldozers turn up. Do we know, did the police officers take these men from their homes before they allegedly then sent in the bulldozers? Do we know the sequence of events, or do we just know that the power went off, police then targeted the homes and took the men out? Because was it only men who were taken from their homes and taken to the police station?
Based on the intel that I am receiving, only men. were taken, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense because for those who don't know, men, we are the stronger of the sexes. We are the protectors, yeah? And our natural instinct coming to see men in mask and with bulldozers to bulldoze your home with your family in there. Your natural instinct of a real man is to be defensive. We're going to protect. And they could not deal with over 20 men on captured land who would have witnessed their homes being demolished, their wives, girlfriends, and children and grandmother being thrown out, watch their furniture demolished, watch their appliances demolished. They would not have had it. And I believe that the police officers who usually knows the temperament of everybody in a community, they assess the situation and they thought to themselves, we might have a problem. Now, this is just my speculation on what has happened. The court will determine the facts from the fiction. And I'm going to say this to everybody that is here. Jamaica, we cannot sit down and watch the government of Jamaica use our resources, the police, the soldier. I understand that even helicopter was there. A freaking copter. A helicopter. I remember when Hurricane Melissa struck, Mark Golding leader could not get a helicopter from JDF to fly him to the affected areas that were impassable. He couldn't get it. It was a private person who loaned Mark Golding an helicopter to get to his constituents over there in Westmoreland. I don't want anybody to forget. But last night, to serve the interest of a private sector person who apparently won a court ruling, that person you're telling me was able to get so many police officers to come to here. And I mean, it's just a series of events. It's like a movie. So this thing was planned, you know. It's a coordinated thing, you know. Because I'm sure they discussed how they were going to do this. Let us turn off the power, go in there, take out all the men or most of the men that we think would be a threat, and take them, and then the demolition will go on, and then we just release them. That is kidnapping, and we should not sit down idly and let this slide. All the police officers involved, including their senior police officer, because the junior police officers cannot do that without the senior one signing off on it. And if you're going to tell me that the commissioner of police did not know anything about an operation of that magnitude that involved a helicopter, if they're going to deny that they did not know about it, that is even more egregious and concerning. Okay,
let's throw some facts out there. So you said a few interesting things, and these are, I think, one of the points we raised in the documentary Dead Man Tell No Tales. Police officers in Jamaica are not authorized to wear face masks, right? Unless there is an exemption that is signed off by senior officers, including the commissioner. So Indicom and the commissioner himself, Dr. Kevin Blake, has said that police officers should not be wearing face masks. So that is one other point that is also deeply concerning. Another concerning point is that we have no body cameras, right? An operation like this would require body cameras. Another point that we should also put out there as well is the fact that there is reporting tonight. And, you know, we did reach out to him as well, Isaac Buchanan, to try and invite him onto the program. You know, the story that the media now seems to be running with. And again, this is why we decided to do this special program tonight, to focus on the people, the fallout and the consequences, and how we've gotten to this point. The story that the media, including Nationwide, seem to be running with is that they claim that ISAT has told unaffected Cooper's Pen families to, quote, chop E-line on government. Chop E-line. Don't know if I'm chop the line or chop up E-line. I understand that is a Jamaican
Choppy
slang
line,
term
choppy line.
that means to run a scam or commit fraud. So that is what they're running with the media, right? What does that tell us then? Does that tell us essentially that as we speak right now, people like you, Andre Stevens, and others who are named in this statement by the Jamaica Labour Party, who, according to them, are spreading misinformation? Does that suggest that you guys are onto something and there is a deliberate attempt to shut you down? Do you think that is ultimately what is going on? Or do you think that they have a point? Maybe, and let's just speak hypothetically, maybe the Prime Minister had nothing to do with this. And perhaps if we do the right thing and say, potentially senior officers, deputy commissioner levels, superintendents, commissioner level even, had knowledge that 20 police officers. Was it 20 police officers or 100 or so, however many? More than 2 or 4 police officers. That's a major.
It's a whole lot, man. It's a whole lot.
A whole lot
way
more.
More
Okay.
than a whole lot.
That means that would have had to be signed off. And then to deploy a helicopter, that would have also had to be signed off as well. So is your conclusion that this is the government would have 100% been across this? Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, National Security Office, including the National Security Minister, Horace Chang. Do you suspect those people might be a part of it? Or do you think that this is something that has happened, that the higher heads didn't know about it and it's all gone really wrong and the fallout is happening as we see?
My job is not to assume, but to actually get the facts. But based on what is put to us, this is what, because we're not going to prejudge anything. We're going to speak about what happened. Yes, I cannot say if the Prime Minister of this country knew about that. I cannot say that Kevin Blake, Commissioner of Police, knew about it either. I cannot speak on that. One thing I can say, if they, who are the heads of the police department, knew nothing about that operation, it would have meant that the senior police officers from the station that knows of it, they overstepped their bounds and they did not follow the right protocol up the chain. So it's a two-pronged thing. Number one, if the government knew and is denying their knowledge of, then that's a problem. If the government didn't know, meaning the heads of government, the Prime Minister and Kevin Blake and the Security Minister, if they didn't know, then we have an even bigger problem, because it means that the Jamaica Constabulary Force, now have subgroups that are acting in them own interests. And that is even more frightening and more concerning. That is even more frightening, because you're using the government's weapon and uniform and badges to execute an illegal search of people's property, illegal arrest, false imprisonment. You know, lad, I do not understand the magnitude of this law. So I don't know if I answered your question correctly, but that's the answer I want to give. I cannot speak of the Prime Minister's knowledge, yes or no. He would have to come to say whether or not he knew of it, and Kevin Blake would have to come to say whether or not. And I mean, it's sad that at this point we have not heard from the Prime Minister or Dr. Kevin Blake. I have not heard. I don't know if there's a report out there. Let me state it for the record. I have not heard from them as yet. And for this event, this is now the second night where more than 50 families in Trelawney are now sleeping under bus sheds and in bushes because they have nowhere to go, for the Prime Minister and Dr. Kevin Blake to not come out and issue a formal report on this matter. That also is extremely concerning, and we should not take it lightly. The country is running on autopilot. Anybody do what them feel for do. So we, the citizens, need to do what we need to do and protect ourselves. Because the residents and tonight, no politician should be sleeping in their beds. Not one. Until those persons are given a home. Okay?
Do you know what's actually this concerning to me about this? It's this mentality, right, where I feel like people have already made up their mind and they're saying, you know what, we're used to this. These are, it's a corrupt country. This is just a reality. We've got to accept it for what it is. And I reached out to multiple politicians today, and obviously it's the holiday season, people are away. But I feel like it is crises like these where politicians should be mobilizing both sides. The Prime Minister should be down there. Given the outrage, the Prime Minister should be down there. His deputy at least should be there, standing with the people to say, hey, listen, we have no involvement. This is our explanation. This is what we know. We want to try and find out and be transparent with the public. The other side, I'm hoping, will also be down there as well. The MP who appears to be this clueless chicken running around headless, Toba Hamilton, she's put out a video. Can we play this clip that she's put out in the last 2 hours or so, attempting to explain it? 6 minutes long. We're not going to bore you with 6 minutes. We'll play you just the first minute or so of her explaining and reinforcing the point that apparently she had no knowledge of this. And let's just make something clear. She also has another role. She is a Minister of State in the Ministry of Tourism. So she has a seat at the governmental table. So she's not just a normal MP. But like I said, she was down there at the at the scene yesterday responding, and I will show you a bit of what she did. But let's just listen to what she had to say very briefly.
Yesterday was a painful and a heartbreaking day for the people of Cooper Spin. And today I want to speak to it directly, not only as the Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, but as someone who stood with these families yesterday, saw their pain firsthand, and believe the public deserves to know what transpired. First, I want to make something absolutely clear. What happened yesterday here in Cooper Spin was not a Government of Jamaica operation. It was private sector led. And at no time before the operation began was I, as Member of Parliament, informed that an eviction or demolition exercise was going to take place. I found out when the people were already being bulldozed. I started receiving phone calls as early as 6 a.m. when residents started appealing to me for assistance. By that time, homes were already being demolished and families were already displaced.
Your reaction to that, Marvin?
It's not over until the fat lady sings. A terminology I used from when I was a child growing up. And truth is absolute. Truth is not 99.9%. Truth is 100%. The Jamaican people will eventually hear the truth. The residents here, people know things. There was someone on Andre Stevens' program, I believe, earlier today, a gentleman, or last night, who stated, and I'm quoting from what I heard, that that this minister knew about it 2 weeks prior. That's what I heard from him. I can't confirm or deny. All I'm saying, for him to come publicly and make that statement, he would have been privy to that the truth around that. I'm not going to speak to that because I know nothing of it. For now, we're going to take the minister's statement, and the minister has said on record she knows nothing of it. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that the minister knew nothing of it. For her to have said that the government, this thing was not carried out by the government of Jamaica, she should have been embarrassed. Not just embarrassed, but ashamed of herself to have made that statement publicly, given the fact that the involvement of the police officers and what transpired with the men who were removed from their homes, because a private person cannot authorize so much police officers to do that kind of crime, where police move in, lock off light, in a mask, take out people to the yard, carry them to a police station. That alone, we shouldn't even be focusing on the demolition. Let's focus on the kidnapping of more than 20 young men and on how they were violated. I don't hear her talking about that. That's what she should be talking about. The human rights violations that transpired with that. That you want to talk about. Because those were men representing the government of Jamaica. So she talking that is bullshit. Bullshit. Okay.
I'm going to show, listen, I want to say something on this, right? Because I don't know Miss Hamilton's aspirations, or if she hopes one day to become, a senior minister or to be a senior member in her party. But if she is genuinely, not telling the truth, this is going to come back. You're putting statements out there. This is going to come back. There is going to be a paper trail. So I don't know her ambitions. And also, if she's the MP of an area and you don't know what is happening in your ground, it's your playground, right? In your area, that is pretty shameful. That is pretty embarrassing. It shouldn't be the residents being caught off guard. You should know, as the member of parliament, they elected you. You should be the eyes, the ears. If a road has a big crack in it, you should know. If a pole has collapsed, you should know what is going on. And something of this magnitude wouldn't have been undercover. The MP possibly, potentially would have been notified. Her office would have been notified. There is going to be a policing operation on the 11th of August at 3 a.m. You would have been aware of that, given that you are the MP and people would have been calling the police or calling you for help or whatever. What I want to do very quickly, I want to show this document that we've uncovered. So if we can just bring this document up, right? And we're going to show you the fact that the Cooper's Pen dispute did not begin when the Bulldozers arrived on Tuesday. We're told the PNP administration went to court in 2014 in connections with efforts to acquire the land. And what became of that case remains a critical unanswered question. Government subsequently, as we know, changed hands, but the land at dispute did not disappear. So the question tonight isn't simply who sent the bulldozers, right? It's also what happened to the attempted government intervention. What did the PNP government do furthermore before leaving office, and what has been done since Andrew Holness's government has been empowered to prevent this happening? And how did a land dispute known about for years end with homes reduced to rubble and families sleeping in tents tonight? I feel like this is not just a story about a demolition. It may be the story of a problem, right? A problem that Jamaica has known about for years. And everyone has just said, you know what? I don't live there. Not my problem. Got to keep my head straight. Got to keep it moving. But there we go. Just wanted to let you guys know that and to show you that this issue has been around. What 1967 Fifth Element was telling us earlier. And most recent court documents from 2014 shows the PNP then administration trying to do something about this.
So, okay, I'm going to say this to you. So we learned that, I mean, as you said, that particular piece of land has been in court from way back. And we understand that PJ Patterson sold the land. That's what I heard back in the 90s. That's what's out there. I'm just kind of regurgitating what's out there. And from the JLP supporters and bloggers who are supporting this demolition, saying, oh, it's PJ sold the land. But the Jamaica Labour Party government is in power, and they've been in power for 10 years. As a matter of fact, most of the persons in that community voted for the Jamaica Labour Party. So the Jamaica Labour Party government understood that these persons are our people, yeah? And they should have also known that there's a history with this land in terms of acquisition and whatever. And if it is that we lose or they lose, yeah, the appeal in court, which they did, yeah, we would have to find somewhere to put them. So the government of Jamaica, in protecting the people, yeah, should have known that, okay, upon the decision of the courts, whatever the ruling is, we, the government, are going to ensure that there's an immediate injunction to prevent the demolition. But while the injunction is in place, we, the government, have a sole responsibility to provide housing solutions. However, be it temporary, permanent, you, the government of Jamaica, have that responsibility. I mean, I don't want nobody can tell me, say, oh, no, expect the government to do everything. National NHT is there, and Andrew Holness government takes $11.4 billion from NHT, the housing, that thing is that's there for housing for citizens. Yeah, the government could have easily said, you know what? All right, it's 50 families. I think $2 billion from NHT can go towards, acquiring a piece of property and putting up some structures and relocating these people because this has been going on for a while. It is the responsibility of the government to think for the citizens and protect the citizens. Now, the fact that you did not do that and you allowed, it doesn't matter what the court has ruled, the government can override the ruling. As a matter of fact, the Chief Justice Brian Sykes, they can issue an injunction. It did not come from the Prime Minister to ensure that the rights of the citizens are protected. And this is my understanding. I am not a lawyer. I'm not here to offer legal advice, but from the little that I know for a fact that the court, the courts could have provided an injunction, or the government of Jamaica could have applied for an injunction on behalf of the citizens in protecting the dignity, the dignity and the human rights of these citizens and provide home. But the government no want to do that. The government is busy about getting up infrastructure and ensuring that tourism is boost and we can, drive the economy. What economy are you going to ramp up if you now put out 50 families that doesn't have a job and doesn't have a home? What your actions have done is to now incite violence on the rest of Jamaican people, because these people, by these actions, are going to create criminals, because they are going to now try to survive by whatever means. It is common sense. These people will have to fend for their family. Them are go thief. Them are go rob. Because them not have nothing. And you've taken everything from them. There are persons there that are still paying back courts for beds and furniture that they took. There are people that who are paying back Jamaica JN small business loan, who took a little loan to hustle. Now you've demolished their homes. How long are they going to stay in those Chinese blue tents that were provided? How long? How long you plan to have them there? And you've now provided the tents on the same property. You provided the tent on the same flipping property. So might as well they did leave the house them until you get the people them somewhere. See them there. See them there. Isn't that the same property? Just asking. Isn't that the same property? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same
good.
land, yeah.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
We can also reveal tonight residents of around 40 houses still standing on the property are also on edge. They're a little bit nervous after being warned that the demolition team, we can tell you tonight, residents have been warned that the demolition team could return to finish the job and clear the entire land area. It's around 40 houses remain on land that still needs to be cleared. So this story is nowhere near over. And this is the part, right, of the story that cannot get buried underneath court documents, politics, and arguments over ownership. There are people, real people, who, like as we said, are on edge. They're nervous. Are they going to be next? Here's what I'm going to just kind of get into very quickly, Marvin, right? And we started this conversation tonight trying to understand who ordered the demolition. How did we get here? And why are we here? I don't feel like we're any closer, and it will take a bit of time, and that's understandable. What I will kind of say, right, is that if it was private developers who commissioned this demolition, the sticky problem that the Jamaican government has, including the Prime Minister, his deputy, and his ministers have, is that the state were involved. And listen, it is not unusual for bailiffs to turn up to people's homes with enforcement, meaning the police, just to make sure things go peacefully well, protect the bailiffs, protect the workmen. Can we show the images of the men who were there? There were a lot of men in high-vis jackets who were at the scene, who were there, helping to carry furnitures around, and we'll be able to show you those men. So it was a big operation, and the police's job usually would be to protect them, the bailiffs, and everyone else. This is where it gets sticky. And I do not see a reason why the attorney who interviewed these men, as well as these men who spoke out and said that they were unlawfully taken from their homes and processed in a police station. This now places the state at the center of this scandal. And with the state being at the center of the scandal, it means that heads must roll. Who sanctioned, who would have signed off to bring, to individually go to the doors of each of these men, remove them from their homes, take them to the police station to process them? Again, we're just thinking out loud here. Are the police going to release a statement saying, listen, we are aware of these individuals, they are troublemakers, and we needed to keep the workmen and the men operate and women operating the bulldozers safe, so therefore we had to remove these individuals? If that is the case tonight, they need to release documents showing that. They've got to show transparency. So the conclusion as we come to the end of tonight's show is that the state played a role in this.
The men were handcuffed. They were handcuffed.
And if these men were taken from their beds unlawfully and unlawfully detained at the crack of night, then that means that these men had their human rights violated.
And left their families. I mean, the young lady who just gave birth that we've seen been circulating, a 3-day-old baby, and she had a C-section, so she still has stitches and everything. She couldn't, she was not even supposed to be lifting a whole flipping bath with the baby. I know that. I have 3 children and all of them came as a result of C-section. I know the role that I had to play just days after that surgery while the mother was recuperating. I know. So I understand what transpired in that. And then can you just imagine the level of stress that mother went through, and to be breastfeeding and the child? There's so many other complications that can derive from all these actions. And the same thing happened in Albion. The police, Albion in masks. When persons were videotaping them, the police walked over to the persons videotaping, demanded that they open the phone, took their phones from them. Since as Jamaica never hear, let me tell you now again, took their cell phones from them and deleted the videos. This is no longer police officers who are paid by taxpayers to protect the people. These are police officers who are now mercenaries, collecting money that not by us, by the so-called private developers and the private stakeholders for these properties, and carrying out bad man job using the state's weapons, the state resources, vehicle, everything.
I mean,
we cannot sit down and don't do something about this, Noel. Sorry. These police officers must be fired and arrested by all means.
But Marvin, my thing is that maybe those officers were acting on the orders of someone. That's why it is imperative that if it's the senior officers, superintendent, deputy commissioner, or commissioner, the public needs transparency. The public pays for the police force.
Heads must be rolled.
Heads have got to roll. So that's the thing. These officers would have been acting under whatever orders they were given. And just finally, before we let you go tonight, Marvin, so just to recap, for everyone who's just joining us, we're doing a special program tonight on the Cooper's Pen demolition. Families, as we speak, are intense, still picking up the pieces from their homes. And we've been, solely focused tonight, not on the politics, but on but on the people, and trying to understand how we got to where we are. And Marvin's on responding because he was named in a statement released by the Jamaica Labour Party, accused by a local mayor of spreading misinformation. You have made it clear, and we're going to hear from another person who was named tonight as well in a moment. But Marvin, you made it clear tonight that you intend on potentially suing the mayor for defamation.
I've already started the process.
And you're also going to...
I'm excited about it.
Why is that?
I'm actually excited about it. Yeah, because I've been waiting for this moment for all my life, I swear. From when Moan and call my name, and them set him, the government, the Jamaica Labour Party government, they actually set him up and them don't even know. They set up the mayor. The prime minister would never dare call my name. You can't do that. None of that. They're not that stupid. Them set him up. Yeah.
Do you... I know obviously you have been having a back and forth with the singer Mr. Vegas, who was recently honored by the Jamaican government. I mean, you believe that there are people, individuals who are targeting you.
Oh, no. Vegas is nobody. That's a little insect. And his lawsuit is also coming. Its lawsuit
so you're
is
suing
also
him
coming.
also?
Oh, yeah, for other things. Because apparently I've been now the guy who causes a lot of people to watch his channel. And I mean, if you can find a figure where you can, speak on this person, I'm an important person. A very important person. And this man is looking his traction. And him having blogs and but for me, I'm about to nip it in the bud. I have already started that process also.
So,
yeah,
so I mean, you've got a lot of, you're going to be a busy man over the coming months.
I
imagine.
enjoy this. I enjoy this. I'm not concerned about the little bloggers who wants to say whatever because they don't have any money. I've always wanted persons who have a little money to talk about me because the ones you can talk, but you see, once you have lies and misinformation, yeah, man, I'm ready for the lawsuit. So
and
let's
then
go.
You're also going to be helping or putting together some sort of way that the men who, as you say, were illegally detained and taken from their homes and arrested, they can also launch legal action as well.
Yes, and the only reason why I have not been there physically is because I'm off the island and circumstances beyond my control. I can't leave. But the moment I get the chance to leave, the moment I touch Jamaica, I want every single one from Area 1 police station to understand, all of them who were a part of that process, to understand that I will be there, me and my attorneys, and they must understand that we're not going to stop until every last one of them is either fired, arrested for the crimes that they committed yesterday on the Jamaican people. It's time for this damn thing to stop because more demolition is going to happen. The Prime Minister of Jamaica has publicly stated that the squatter community, which is comprised of over 700,000 Jamaicans, is hurting the country. The man said that hurt the country. That's a public statement from the Prime Minister. So every single Jamaican that is here tonight, or who will be listening this clip after, needs to understand that the Prime Minister, Bobby Montague, all the persons who are in charge of lands and titling and stuff, they are out to get you. And they have already started and they don't care. They're going to move you. All right? And we have to stop that.
Marvin, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time, and we gave it the time today to really unpack a great deal and to answer back, right? Answer back that you, like most people, were asking genuine questions and didn't set out to, be political, just to call out the politicians and try and get a response. And instead of providing accountability and transparency, they decided to, give you a bit of prominence to make you a little bit famous. But hey, take it, run with it, right? There's going to be hundreds and thousands of people. Who is this Marvin Edgar? Hundreds of thousands of people. So that's, so whoever was advising the mayor or whoever was on duty in the JLP press office may need a little bit of more training, because you don't give people prominence, especially free of charge, without them doing something that's in the national interest. But anyways, Marvin, appreciate you doing this, and thank you. And obviously, people can follow you across your social networks and keep up to date with all your lawsuits, because you're going to be a busy man in the coming months, no doubt.
Yeah, man. Respect.
All right. Appreciate you, Marvin. Thank you.
All right, everybody.
It's worth saying, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I need a breather. I need to have a quick drink. Okay, we've had a lot. We've done a lot in the last just over the last hour and 40 minutes. We're going to bring in Andre shortly, get him to respond as well, because like I said, he was in this statement and I think he wants to have a say as well. So we're going to do that, and then we're also going to talk a little bit and show you the living conditions that people are living under down in Cooper's Bend in a few moments.
Welcome to Golby Locks and Grow. We have a variety of skin and hair products that are 100% natural. Our products are developed by a certified cosmetologist located in Port Antonio. For skincare, we have body wash, body butter, body scrub, facial bars, and more. Our hair care products include powerful hair growth oils, shampoo, conditioners, hair moisturizers, and more. Visit our locations and feel free to follow us on Instagram at Goldilocks and Grow. Call us at 357-9996. Let us help you rejuvenate your natural beauty.
From nature to you, straight from the tree to everyday living. So why the hassle when it's already done for you? Stop searching. Looking for pure natural coconut oil you can trust? Aruka Distribution has the answer. Only Coconuts brings you two premium options, virgin coconut oil and refined coconut oil. Our virgin coconut oil is cold pressed to preserve its natural fragrance and nutrients, perfect for skincare, hair care, oral health and low temperature cooking. For higher heat cooking, choose our refined coconut oil with a neutral scent, high smoke point and cholesterol-free goodness for everyday meals. 2 oils, 2 purposes, 1 pure standard. Available at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. Looking for the perfect Airbnb in Jamaica? Heart's Desire Rentals has the ideal stay for every traveller. Choose from our stylish 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom accommodations in Kingston and St. Anne, designed for comfort, convenience and relaxation. Enjoy modern amenities, 24-hour security, gated parking, and easy access to shopping, dining, and entertainment. Or unwind at Heart's Desire Marina Villas in Draxhall Estate, St. Anne, featuring a private beach, swimming pool, gym, tennis courts, and stunning coastal views. Whether you're traveling for business, a romantic getaway, or a family vacation, your perfect Jamaican getaway is just a click or call away. Explore all our properties online. Heart's Desire Rentals, where luxury meets comfort and every stay feels like home. We look forward to hearing from you, so book your stay today.
Nah, help we. 3 school lockdown and them don't help.
In the constituency?
Yes, sir.
Anything you do, you don't do it already. Step aside. So you call for resignation? Yes.
The conversations that matter. The people at the center of the story. Serious journalism delivered with warmth, honesty, and just a little fun.
I'm not sorry, listen to PDPD show.
Oh yeah!
So many things I did not know. Oh yeah! Tune in from this show. Long and not sorry.
Oh yeah!
Long and not sorry.
Because the news should inform, challenge, and connect us all. The conversations that matter, the people at the center of the story. PDTV News starts now.
So I'm seeing a few people asking a really important question tonight, right? And I've put out the fielders to try and get some answers. So if I don't get to answer the question tonight, I'm going to try and do it later in the week. How are people using bathrooms, given that they are intense? My understanding is that there might be a portable toilet in the area. That's not being confirmed, right? But we're going to try and get some answers, because that is a very, very important question, given that these people's homes were knocked down. Did anybody think about where they would go or how they would have the basic things to do the really important things that we all need to do on a day-to-day basis to keep living and to wash their faces, brush their teeth? Listen, the bulldozers came before dawn, and now the government has gone in with tents. 40 families believed to have been impacted in Cooper's Pen. The numbers is fluctuating. We're hearing 30, we're hearing 25. I'm hearing as of tonight around 40 families have directly been impacted, including children, senior citizens, people with disabilities. We've heard about the newborn baby as well that has been left homeless. And tonight the government agency, including ODPEM, are scrambling. They're in the area. So these are the blue tents. These kind of tents that you'll see in those sort of countries like Sudan, or in war zones where people are displaced, and then they have to use these tents as temporary housing to house people. This is what a lot of people are having to sleep under if they don't have homes that they can go to, family members that they can go to. They're having to sleep in these tents, right? And you've got some images. There we go. So this is what the tents look like. This is their living situation tonight. Here's the uncomfortable, reality. There was nowhere identified, we understand, to relocate these people. So they're now sheltering in these tents beside the remains of the community they once called home. You can see the rubble around these tents. 40 homes are still on the land in this area, and those residents are on edge. They believe that their homes may be targeted. The demolition crew may come back in and take their homes down. Jamaica, as we know, is still recovering from the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, and families across the country rebuilding their lives. Now you've got a brand new I keep having to use the word crisis because I want to use a stronger word, but I'm going to stick to crisis tonight, right? People have lost their homes. A lot of people calling them squatters. They knew this was coming. Serve them right. You've had people who watched their parents, grandparents grow up in some of these houses, in some of these structures. They had to watch bulldozers knocking those houses down to rubble. They couldn't do anything about it. And we saw that gentleman crying, saying he spent $1.5 million recently renovating his home, and now he's been left with anything. He's been left with nothing. Somebody has to pick up the clothes, the photographs, the broken fridges, the stoves that lies, along the rubble. They're gonna have to pick it up. But guess what? They've got nowhere to put them. What are they gonna do if it rains? Don't forget, we're in the middle of the hurricane season, and these are not wealthy people who can simply book a hotel tonight and then, call a contractor tomorrow and then get an Airbnb. So yes, the law matters. If these people were unfortunately on land that they didn't have the right to be on, property rights matter. Why was this allowed to fester for so many years? And that's what I want us all to remember from tonight's show, right? Behind every argument about titles, court judgments, there is a family, there are individuals who are mourning, who are angry, who are frustrated. There is a mother, there is a father, there is a child, there are grandparents. And these are people who, like me right now, are probably sat down just looking at the rubble, looking at their home, what once was their home. So yeah, we're not going to lose track that there's a lot of legal elements and layers when you peel away. There are a lot of legal stuff in the middle of all of this, but we cannot allow these people to lose their dignity. And whatever ultimately emerges about who owns Cooper's Pen, property should never mean that your humanity matters less. So we're going to send our thoughts with these folks, right, who have nothing tonight. They may have the remains of what once was their home, but they technically have nothing. And there are going to be people who are going to be starting life all over again. Children who've lost their bedrooms, who've lost their school, equipment, who've lost their clothes. They're going to need help. Someone's going to have to pick up the pieces. Odd Plymouth said that they're in the area. There's social workers in the area tonight who are trying to provide assistance. But again, if Hurricane Melissa was any indication as to how these things work, listen. I'm not gonna be too negative or too glum about this, that given that there are people who might be watching who have family members or who might have been impacted. But let's just hope that the system does its job now and work and help these people. Is Andre with us now? I'm going to bring him in real quick. Andre, you here?
Yes, I'm here. Are you hearing me?
We can hear you loud and clear. I know you wanted to react.
Can I be on screen for a second, please?
We're going to get you to respond, given the fact that you were called out by the government tonight or earlier today, along with Marvin Edgar and a few others.
I wasn't called out by a government. I was called out by a mafia political party, not a government. And I'm happy to announce that I've safely landed in the United States. Thank you for holding the show for me. I really wanted to come to burn some fires, but I'm going to hold it until tomorrow, when I'm going to carry the mayor of Trelawney in class. I'm going to show him how he was used as a pawn to come out to attack bloggers. I'm going to say to you, Noel, if there were media houses that were doing stories like how you did tonight, then I could have appreciated that somebody's talking on behalf of the Jamaican people. But if persons like myself, Marvin Edgar, Dre, Brand, Turble, and many others choose to be silent? Who is going to talk for the ordinary man? Who is going to talk for those people who are in those Hurricane Melissa tents? Because those tents came useful because they were packed up somewhere in the Ministry of Labor, ready to go give out for another occasion of what? Disaster. This disaster could have been avoided if the Member of Parliament reacted 2 weeks ago when she got the notice. I am not taking it from her that she never knew, because you know why? The ministry, the National Land Agency is in the office of the Prime Minister. Any kind of interactions about land movement happens in the office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister must have known about it. Do you understand? Because he has technocrats, he has people within the agency, the National Land Agency, to say to him what are happening. If the issue goes back as we have 2012, when the then PNP government tried to acquire the 9 acres of land, it wasn't successful. Why then are we in this position now? Why then did successive governments not continue to do what they need to do for the people to get the 9 acres of land? It's cruelty. It is wickedness. And everybody is failing to call out this private interest group. I will be calling them out tomorrow. Let me say this to you. Too much colonizers have taken over this country. Too much colonizers have done their special interest in getting what they want, and the people of Jamaica suffer. You see what baby 3 days old has born, and a baby is probably in a tent or whatever they're putting. It is cruelty to humanity. And if a government can see that, a prime minister, let me say this to you, if he was opposition leader, that man would have been down there from yesterday creating upheaval and creating anarchy and a ball out for the Jamaican people. Do you realize how the Prime Minister is silent, sending his minions to do what? Deflect and gaslight the story about PNP bloggers. Deflect and gaslight the story about how Mark Golding and Peter Bunting were the ones who did this and that and Riante. I am tired of Andrew Holness and his puppeteering. He puppeteers Abka Fitzhenley. He puppeteers Marlon Morgan. He puppeteers Cliff Hughes. He puppeteers Menchibi. He puppeteers the one from Atlanta. He puppeteers them and use them to do his nasty, dirty work. I am going to say, I am not going to come after Colin Gager because he's a puppet in it. I am coming after the puppeteer who puppets the students and puppet the miscreants and the minions. Me not the time I come after small fish. Me I come after the big whale who are do these things, and at the end of the day, poor people are suffer. He's wicked, he's evil, and I'm going to say to him, Noel, Pharaoh came down a particular way, you know. Pharaoh came down a particular way. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, Pharaoh came down when he was on the mighty chariot. It's Sir Andrew Holness going to come down. It's Sir Andrew Holness going to come down. You say Pharaoh, and if he not come down, he's going to name grass like Nebuchadnezzar. I declare from evilness and wickedness over this country. He's going to name grass like Nebuchadnezzar. So I'm going to say this to him. Call my name some more. It is showing that the bloggers are getting to you. It is showing that the Jamaican people are hearing the truth and understand the concept. I am going to say, Marvin Edgar, burn more fire. I am going to say to Dre Bryan, burn more fire. I am going to say to Durban, burn more fire. A little bit more oil in our lamps, and we're going to burn more fire. So I am going to say, Eternal Father, bless our lands. Bless with our mighty hand. Be put free from evil powers. Because this evil power in this country. You see this evil power in this country. How can a prime minister feel good, Noel, knowing that people are intense? Suppose a hurricane come tomorrow morning. All of those tents are destroyed, you know. Suppose another hurricane like Hurricane Melissa should come to the country. You saw Noel when the grandmother is going through the rubbish trying to find her medication. And what did they do? They make video for sure how them do what, Noel? Attending to the people, let them think it's all a theatrical fluff, and this is PR. This is people's lives. People's lives matter. Yeah. Cooper's Pen residents' lives matter. And I'm going to say, you know, yeah, keep biblical. You see, when the Lord it said around the walls of Jericho, the people who were going around the walls of Jericho never make no shout, you know. They went around several times. And when the people made a shout, the walls came down. I'm going to say to Jamaica, we have to be strategic. These days of just talking, not where work. We have to put action. Noel, I am in Washington tonight because people have seen the work that I've been doing for the Jamaican people. And I will use my voice in Washington to amplify for the Jamaican people. We're tired of it. We're tired of this operation. We're tired of the corruption. We're tired of the colonizers. And I'm going to say, if I can do it, all of us can do it. Now I'll keep burning a fire using investigative journalism and do what you have to do. Because at the end of the day, Jamaica deserves better. Jamaicans deserve better. I am tired. I am broken. I was in the airport from morning. You know, so I missed the flight this morning, my brother. I have to sit down in the airport for 6 hours. I'm dead. I'm here when the Jamaica Labour Party called me name about misinformation. I want to ask Noel, the police, who is the police representing? Is the police working for private interest or is it the police working for the state? If the police is there, isn't the police a representation of the government? Of the state? So how then you're going to say that the government is not involved in this operation? We heard Marvin say tonight, mask. We heard Marvin say tonight, all of these things that happen. Helicopter. Who commissioned the helicopter? Who commissioned the helicopter in this operation? Who commissioned for the light to be turned off? Who commissioned for the men to be removed? Who commissioned the houses to be demolished? So you're saying that the private interest, the private developer has more say than the government of Jamaica? I'm going to say to you, I'm leaving you tonight because I need to go check in and sort out myself, my brother. Jamaica, remember the pledge. Eternal Father, guide us. Too much evil powers, Noel, is on this land. I will come back tomorrow and deal with them solid, impactful, and with truth. I appreciate the lady who came on tonight. I appreciate you found her. She gave some context and some facts tonight. We need to go and look back at what's her name again, Noel? Element?
Fifth element.
Fifth element. Let us go back to what fifth element. There is a reason why Andrew Holness put Bobby Montague in the Ministry of Lands, you know, and Andrew Holness keeps the Ministry of Housing, you know, because it is a coordinated effort for them. You know, them call them land barons. They walk around like Colonel Charles and find the land them all about and send their little minions to go to acquire the lands. And then when they're done, when they're out of power, them have acreages of land can go train Chinese and sell this and sell that. They are land barons. And I'm going to say, see, you, your wife, Bobby man, she can do all out, only going to get exposed. Good night, Noel. Until then.
Thank you, Andrew.
Be prepared for what is to come, and for what is to come, be prepared. The word is love. Good night.
I know you'll be back tomorrow for Midday Connection, and we'll also be back at 8 p.m. as well. I want to do some final thoughts before I go tonight. For everyone who's been asking, yeah, I've been a little busy of late. We've been working on some projects and stuff. So, but this was important. This was important to show up for, right? And to do a bit of proper investigative, rigorous work. But I want to show you very quickly the island's transport minister, Daryl Vaz. As you know, Daryl has been on a victory lap of late, ever since he won his court proceedings against Dayton Campbell. So this is one of several tweets that he's put out. He says in this tweet, in the 2002 case in the Court of Appeal between the University of the West Indies and the Mona Rehabilitation Foundation, we got a peek of how Mark Golding truly views squatters and low-income communities. In 2000, Mark Golding was not seeking political office and was not MP for Garrison and had no reason to pretend. His affidavit submitted to the Court of Appeal rips into the people of Mona Commons, a PNP fortress, and sought the early deny them access to land, affordable housing, and social mobility. Golding enlisted the services of his firm and a star-studded legal team determined to prevent the government and Yuri from building houses for the squatters close to their community. Can we go to the other tweet as well that he's put out? So these tweets are all spanning over the last couple of hours. Darrell Vaz basically seem a little bit focused on leader of the opposition. He says in this one, I understand why the PNP needs to use Damien Crawford for ideas because Mark is severely lacking the skills and creativity to balance leadership and accountability. You were quick to issue a cease and desist when lies are spread regarding your connection to the demolition, only to spin around and do the same. The party that dumped our citizens in a mud lake and the party that offered swamp houses were rejected for good reason. Now, the reason I thought I would bring the minister's messages to the forefront and to show you guys what is going on is because this is what the usual playbook is, right? Politics, as we know, is tearing Jamaica apart. And some of you guys, unfortunately, are helping it to happen. And yeah, I mean, yeah, a few people here. Because everything that happens in Jamaica immediately becoming green versus orange, JLP versus PNP, my side versus your side. And frankly, it's exhausting. The people in Cooper's Pen tonight don't give a damn, right? We don't even know their political leanings, whether they're JLP or PNP. A family's home can be bulldozed, and before the dust has even settled, people are asking themselves or questioning, was it right? Those are the questions that people aren't asking. Was that right? Am I okay to be in a country where vulnerable people who may be impoverished rather, you know, living in poor conditions, poor neighborhoods, don't have very much, lose their homes, they're now homeless, and I'm scratching my head thinking, should I be outraged? Should I be upset about that? Instead, we've got people asking, which party is responsible? What color does the MP wear? They're checking whether the people who've lost their homes and are complaining, you know, whether they support the JLP or the PNP before deciding whether they give a damn. That is just madness. And the fact that you've got a senior member of government tonight whose sole focus is, you know, to paint. And guys, this is what spin doctors do, right? It's a bit lame because the people who have the role as spin doctors in you know, whatever side they're on, they're not high profile. So for those of you guys in the US, you have the press secretary, you have the communications director, and they will have huge followings, 50,000, 60,000 people following them across social medias. The two-party system in Jamaica doesn't really have high profile individuals behind the scene to speak for them. So therefore, they have to use ministers. And today it's Darrell Vaz. Tomorrow, we will see another minister. That's how the playbook works. Another minister will come out. They will do a bit of research and say, well, the PNP did this. And then, you know, you'll have the other side that will be calling for this inquiry or calling for that or whatever, right? People are standing and sleeping in rubble tonight. And you have this buffoon, this lunatic, whose sole intention is to stir the pot even further and to forget the people who need help. I'm not going to reveal much here. We're doing an investigation into a minister in government. Him and his wife, they own houses on properties on a beach, and that beach, as we speak right now, fishermen and the community are being pushed out by white folks from the United Kingdom who have brought the beach. And I've managed to uncover that there is a minister in the government who has property on that beach. We're going to bring you more on that as we go along, right? But just wake up, guys. Wake up. There is a lot happening. And I know with so much happening right now, it's like watching a political football match. You don't know what side is, who's scoring the most goals and who you can keep up with. But wake up. Politicians are not your gods. This buffoon here and the others who decide that they want to focus on the politics instead of the people, Let's not give them the relevance. And let's remember, Jamaica does not belong to the JLP or the PNP. Jamaica does not belong to the JLP or the PNP. It belongs to you, the people. And for those of you who want to call those folks squatters, they're Jamaicans. They're nationals, right? That's a fact. Squatters are what you call gypsies. People who might move into a new country. They might cross state lines or travel hundreds of miles and go on, end up in your back garden and say, hey, I've got my caravan here. I want to end up here. A lot of those folks who lost their homes, they had generations of family members who grew up in those homes. And maybe technical reasons, through no faults of their own sometimes, they've not gone through the proper process of acquiring that land. So stop attacking people. Like genuinely, I'm speaking to those on the other side, right? On both sides. Let's just stop attacking people who are asking legitimate questions, because these questions make your party or your leaders look incompetent, or makes your party look, like as if it lacks humanity. And for God's sake, stop allowing political tribalism rather, right? To rob you of your common sense. Case in point, this man has done something wrong tonight and I'm calling him out. I don't usually do this calling out stuff. I'm not interested in singling people out. I'm interested in scrutinizing and holding people to account. But I'm calling this gentleman out tonight because what he's done is wrong. The focus 24 hours on should be on the people, not on the political football match that he's hell-bent on playing on social media. Same goes to the other side. I believe that they should be doing more. They should be out. They should be out with the people, camping with the people, sleeping in the community, knowing what the people are going through. And if I get something wrong, I want you guys to do the same. Hold me to account, call me out. But bring the facts, bring the documents, bring the receipts, and bring the evidence, because accountability doesn't suddenly become propaganda when the questions are directed at your side. And corruption cannot suddenly become okay because the person accused wears your color, green or orange. Demand better. Demand answers from the police commissioner, from the police force. Demand to know who these private developers are. Demand to know Tova Hamilton. Is she telling the truth? Did she genuinely have no idea, no clue of what was happening? Demand to know more from the counselors. The pilot who was flying that helicopter. Who sanctioned that? Who signed that off? Did this operation link back to the main HQ in Kingston, or did the local police department oversee the deployment of these officers who then carried out this enforcement? And according to eyewitnesses, unlawfully, or in some cases illegally detained individuals from their homes. Those are the pertinent questions that we should be focusing on. And until we all understand that and we stop, retweeting, amplifying, and sort of parading these politicians as if they are gods, right? They will continue to do what they've done for generations, and that is divide you, and then we forget the people. The same tactic that they used during Hurricane Melissa, and they were arguing over nonsense, helicopters and all the crap. And then we forgot the people who were starving, the dead bodies that were floating around in rivers and communities. There are going to be more demolitions. More people are going to be impacted. And that's why it is so important that when these things happen, and if the media is not doing the job, you support independent journalists, independent bloggers rather, right? Who are out there, who want to call out and do the job properly in doing their research and holding these individuals to account. Because once you turn off from the mainstream, right, and you become, and you go to the independents, the mainstream will be forced to change how they operate, change their newsroom, their structures, and will have to start doing more because they realize people aren't watching. The bloggers are getting more views than them. So at the heart of this are the people. Let's remember the people, the people, the people. And I thank you, all of you guys, for being here with us tonight. I know we've gone a little bit over time, but we thought we'll just do this special show tonight, right? Just for the people of Cooper's Pen, the people of Cooper's Pen who are tonight trying to make sense of their future and what comes next in their lives. So thank you everyone for being here. Andre will be back tomorrow on Midday Connection. And of course, he'll be back as well in the evening. Thank you for watching and good night, everybody.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learn about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.